Hey, it's Saturday morning. Gotta welcome it all in. It's the On Point Podcast. Ah, welcome to the On Point Podcast. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I am your host with the most, Dr. Joe Blake here. And welcome to the On Point Podcast. We help you get your financial point across. Today, we got some great insights for you. Great insights. Today I have a special guest with me today. I'm going to bring on board in a moment here. I'm so excited because I'm going to bring my baby girl on with me, Lady Cupcake, and she's going to share a good class for us here today. So let me bring her on board there. Uh, Cupcake, you there?
Hi. Good
How you,
morning.
how you doing? Tell them a little bit about yourself there, Cupcake.
See, I am Dr. Joe Blake's daughter. I am in the military. I'm an IT professional. Um, Married. Just with my husband. Yeah, I don't
Cool,
know what
cool.
else to share.
All right. Me as well, so got our own thing going on. So you got a little farming community going. So
Oh yeah,
that'll be
building a mini homestead.
yeah, building the little homestead. Okay, oh God. So what I asked my daughter to do for us today is to provide some insight to intangible assets. Now she has her own little collection. She's my client as well. One thing I told her when she was young, her life was she became a wife. And you added something onto that. What you added onto that? So you can build a what? A
I'm sorry.
dynasty. You
Oh,
said you added, yeah, you built on that. You want to build a dynasty, right? So how's my son-in-law doing?
he's doing good. He's doing good. He's doing farm chores right now because I can't do them.
Okay, that's good. All right, so today's lesson, let's go on and kick it on and jump into it. All right, it's about the intangible assets cultivating in the world. Look up there. What you got?
All right. So I'm just going to kind of set the stage in the beginning. And good morning, everyone. As my dad said, today we'll be discussing the intangible asset, cultivating your inner world. When we think about personal or professional success, we usually think about things like education, certifications, technical skills, or years of experience. While those things are certainly valuable, there are also qualities that can't be measured on a resume, but often determine how successful we can be. These qualities include our character, emotional intelligence, self awareness, resilience, and the way we interact with others. And these are what we like to call our intangible assets. All right. And with that, we're ready to move on to the next slide, Dad.
Okay, got it.
All right. So, introduction to intangible assets. So, what exactly are intangible assets? Well, there are the internal qualities that influence how we think, behave, solve problems, and build relationships. There are things we can't physically hold, but they often determine how effective we are in both personal and professional lives. In our personal and professional lives. So things that we think of are integrity, kindness, leadership, confidence, compassion, humility. I think all throughout life is there's problem solving. So a lot of these soft skills can equal problem solving. And now we can go ahead and get into our inner world. Dad, can you move to slide 3, please?
Understand, understanding the inner world, not the outer world, but the inner world.
Yes. Our inner world is made of our thoughts, emotions, beliefs, values, the stories we tell ourselves. These shape how we interpret situations, how we respond under pressure, and how we treat other people. So two people can experience the exact same circumstance, but respond completely different because of what's happening internally. And these are one of the reasons why developing our inner world is so important and influences nearly every outward behavior.
Right. So you can say it's the same. They can grow up in the same world but have different outcomes. Have you
Hmm.
seen that? How do you explain it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, throughout family, we grow up in the same conditions. We take different routes. And not this and the routes work for us, it's how we've decided to shape our path. Or we've taken similar routes because of the way that we were brought up together. So it's always something that's like interesting to look into.
Yeah, that's true. I look at sometimes I see families. Yeah, one kid go this direction, the other go that direction, but then also one kid does that. I think about food. Like there's a certain type of food I ain't gonna eat. A certain type of food we've been in the same household, but I ain't eating chicken. my sister would eat it, but not the brother. You know, so that's in the world. Go to the next slide. Go ahead.
All right, next slide is the importance of self awareness. So, self awareness is the foundation of personal growth because that's when you're able to identify, what's going on inside of you. When we're self aware, we recognize both our strengths, our weaknesses, we understand what motivates us, what stresses us, and how our behavior affects other people. So on the slide, it highlights four different things. Self awareness supports personal growth, it improves emotional regulation, it helps build stronger relationships, and increases confidence because we're honest about who we are. When I read this slide, it kind of brought me to Psalms 139, 23 through 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. See if I have any offensive way in me. Because what I appreciate about this passage is David wasn't just pretending he had everything figured out. He invited God in to reveal the blind spots that he couldn't see himself. And I think that's a powerful example of humility and self awareness. Which brings me to a question that I had for you, Dad. Let's
Okay.
see. Oh, I lost it. Which do you think influences our decisions more, our emotions or our logic?
Sometimes it's our emotions, but it's backed up by logic because that's how purchases are made. People see a purchase, they say, "I like them shoes," and shoes maybe cost more than they can actually afford, but they'll justify the purchase of those shoes if they like them. Some car.
Mm-hmm.
I bought I got my Tesla, and I was like, man, I like that car. I like that car, but the price of that car was up, and I had to stop for a second. I was like, you know, that car, the Tesla car, that townhouse I had. I didn't think about that. I was like, hold up a second. That car cost more than the townhouse. I was like, my God. But I mean, I got it. But it was I was making the money for it too. But still, you have that thought. I really like it. But then you have to because you like it, you have to back it up with the logic. But it was a good purchase. Yeah, sometimes we like it. They have the thought about buying something because you like it, but you got to back it up with the logic. Can you really do it? So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's important to use both. Like the emotion has to be there to connect, but logic has to be there because it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. All right. Next slide, please.
Well, I did. You know what happened? I got an upgrade on my Tesla this weekend. So now it's fully
Oh.
self-driving. Full self-driving. Uh, you gotta watch it. Now it's just self-driving. So I went from my garage. It's self-driving from my garage, and it took me from the house to the car and it actually parked in the parking lot. from the garage. Boom.
Wow.
And I didn't touch nothing. And it drove from the garage to a park in Costco. Man, yeah.
Wow.
Um, anyway, that's just me. That's
I mean, these days I've been moving a little closer and closer to getting a self-driving car because life is a little bit harder.
okay. Here we go.
Something to make it a little
Yeah,
easier.
I love. Okay, here we go.
All right, techniques for cultivating inner peace. I think this is a big slide, and the slide mentions like mindfulness, meditation, um, reflecting, journaling, or spending time in nature. For me, my personal practice is prayer and spending time with God. Praying allows me to slow down, reflect, express gratitude, and surrender my worries instead of carrying them alone. Reflective journaling is another excellent tool because writing helps us organize our thoughts and identify patterns in our thinking and connect the dots. Um, and then finally, spending time in nature. Living in the country is nice. It can help reduce stress, allows us to step away from those constant distractions of life. And just sometimes simply taking a walk outside provides, the quiet time we need to think clearly, or sitting on the porch. I think that's been a big win for us lately. A lot of nature, and it's very relaxing. That cultivating that inner peace is very meaningful. Philippians 4:6-7 reminds us, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition and peace of God, will guard your hearts and your minds.
Yeah, 'cause
And I'm
yeah,
sorry,
you guys
Dad.
live on four acres of land, right? You
I'm
guys live
sorry.
on 4 acres of land, right? What do you see when
Yes.
you go out and look out there?
Trees, grass, birds chirping. Um, it's very peaceful. It's very quiet. We no longer live next to hearing the cars with the hydraulics or racing down the road because we used to be really close to the city. So it's very peaceful. And just go out on the porch, read the Bible. I can't go for walks right now, but eventually I'll go for some walks. Still recovering from my surgery, so there's that.
You see many animals and stuff like that? Not just you
I'm
see how
sorry.
many? What type of animals do you see walking?
We see a lot of different type of birds. We have goats and chickens. So they're very nice to just watch, except for when the goats get hungry, because then they scream at you.
You don't know deer. Yet?
Oh dear, yes, a lot of deers. We have fruit trees, and we have to put a fence around the fruit trees because the deers are loving them.
Oh, okay. All right. So I can see how that can be peaceful having all those the nature around you like that, watching them live the way they live. Like that.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Okay. Next slide.
Um,
Okay. All right. Okay.
the role of mindfulness. So we're going to kind of go into, what does mindfulness mean? Well, it simply means paying attention to that present moment and not worrying about the future and or the past. Again, I practice mindfulness through stillness, through prayer, spending time with God, in His Word, and intentionally trusting Him on the things that I can't control. When we slow down, we're often able to make wiser decisions, communicate more effectively, and respond with greater patience. A question that I had for you, Dad. Have you ever caught yourself worrying about tomorrow while completely missing today?
There was a time I did have that. Worried about tomorrow, today. A lot when I was, most of it when I was in the military, because I had
Oh.
you were smaller, and so I worried about what was going to happen for the future. Uh, how was I going to how you gonna guys gonna grow up, what you gonna do when you grow up, how you gonna turn out. So I worried about that and thought about it, so I didn't know how. So that's why when you guys were small, I would read different books. I would, for me, I would read it to kind of make myself better. And then I had you guys read. You didn't have to read the book, but you guys read the highlighted parts of it. And I wanted you to kind of, you guys, you and your brothers, uh, figure out what you can do. And I didn't know how it was going to work out, but it worked out. For all y'all
Mhm.
have masters, I was like, I didn't know how it worked, but it worked out. So I was mindful of what I was doing, not knowing what the results would be. You got all your kids with master's degrees. I mean, thank you, Jesus, for the that to occur. But I was mindful of what I was doing, not knowing what the results would end up being. And hey, I'm like, thank you, God. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
did.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think mindfulness has become a very important tool for like reducing stress. I can relate with you like with the military. Also, just because of the nature of my position, I am a forward thinker, or I think of future plans. So a lot of times I do get lost of like, oh, I'm here now in an answered prayer because I'm so programmed to think of what's next. Um so I did like it, going into this slide of mindfulness because I'm like, okay, I often have to remind myself that hey, you're in an answered prayer. Sit down and just thank God and enjoy. And then with that, we can move into the next slide.
Okay.
Building emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is one of the strongest predictors of effective leadership and healthy relationships. Um, it's the ability to recognize our own emotions, understand the emotions of others, and respond appropriately. Emotional intelligence isn't fixed, it can be developed throughout our lives. And there's four areas we'll discuss next that are self-regulation, empathy, social skills, and motivation. Together, these qualities influence how we lead, communicate, and solve problems. And I know I had a question, but I know we're also on a time tracker. So I think we should kind of go into the next slide so we can start talking about those four
Okay.
aspects. All right. Self regulation, the ability to manage our emotions instead of allowing our emotions to manage us. That's a big one. It's not about pretending that we don't have emotions, it's about chasing our response rather than reacting impulsively. Um, I will be a little vulnerable that self regulation was something that I've had to work on. I think I've done a great job of being able to master it. But yeah, I can be a little emotional sometimes, and I had to sit down and, you know, self regulate. Just like James 1:19 says, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. I think that's an excellent example of how emotional intelligence teaches us to pause before responding. Um,
Yeah, it's true.
think we have time for a question, or should we move to the next slide?
Go ahead, do the question.
Okay. So have you ever sent a text or an email while you were upset and later wished that you could have waited, or made a decision to purchase something? Later wish you waited.
Yeah, if I get a text from somebody, last year I got a text from a guy, and it was because about school I was teaching, and he forwarded the text, and I was like, dude, don't talk to me that way. You can't send me one that's fired up. I'm gonna send you one that's back that's fired up. And I was like, boom. And didn't think about it because I deal with a certain thing. So I'm like, oh man, right back at you, buddy. You know. And sometimes you got to, before you fire back at them, you got to stop, think, you know, uh, I'm from Baltimore. Can't do that to a brother. You can't do. Yeah, and sometimes we got to take the emotional aspect out of it and just respond accordingly. And sometimes people, others don't feel that. Others don't think either when they send they're emotional as well. So they send you an emotionally charged email. You act someone right back. But sometimes you, as the uh, more thoughtful person, have to respond to it and take the temperature down in communication from. You should at least.
Yeah. And emotional regulation is very important. I mean, because there's so many different emotions to regulate. Like even excitement, you can get excited and say something you shouldn't say. Get excited and buy a purchase that you should have just maybe waited on.
Yeah. You yeah, one more point, then we'll go to close it out.
Okay, so one more slide. Let's see. Empathy. All right, so empathy is more than just feeling sorry for people. It's making the effort to understand another person's perspective and emotions. We talked earlier in the slides that people can be in the same exact situation and handle it differently. So even if we've never experienced that exact situation, empathy builds trust because people want to feel understood before they feel advised. Whether you're leading a team, raising a family, or working with customers, empathy strengthens relationships and improves communication. Romans 12:15 reminds us to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. This verse reminds us that empathy means entering into someone else's experience instead of making things about ourselves. The question that I had leading for this one, what makes you feel heard when someone is listening to you?
We should feel heard.
What makes you feel heard when someone is listening to you?
When they repeat back and understand what it's share back, and when they do that, when they do that, I know they know what they share. They're aware of what we spoke about. I like that sharing the thought with someone and they're able to actually their understanding of what I said. You get things clear. 'Cause when they don't, they're drifting out. Sometimes you can tell when someone's listening. You have to hear what you have to say so they can respond back. Because they really shut up so they can come back with. But if they repeat back and a question to me, then they listen. So empathy means you putting yourself in someone else's shoes, and then so I like to have that. And all this is in line with what we this year for study is about becoming uh, having a better life. You dealing with financial situation, you have to become a better you so you can help others at the same time. So that's this nice part. And that because it's an intangible asset to become better. You can't put a dime on it, you can't put a dollar amount to it, but you have to work on your inner self to attract that, right? All right. So I'm going to put you on the background right now, baby. What the we think about girl. Okay. And then I'll come back. Okay. So I'll put you in the background. Thank you very much. Okay, Cupcake. Hang tight. All right. Let's finish everything up here. Just want to remind everyone we'll be here again next week with the On Play podcast. Just want to remind you that you can always like and subscribe to the channel. Definitely like and subscribe. Here's QR code. Become a partner with the channel. Scan this down, $25. Helps us keep things going, bring more content to you, insights to what we're doing. Also, you can have a download the scan. That's my second book. That's a Sapphire edition. Sapphire building financial legacy last first one is literacy. Literacy lasts a lifetime. Literacy lasts a lifetime. Legacy lasts for generations. My daughter, generation. So You pass what you get, you pass it on to your children, and it goes on. So that's what it's all about. Third reminder here is a money app. Money app is a compilation. It just it goes along with first, second book, and the third one I'm writing this year is Building Financial Legend. So those three books are the thoughts that God gave me to be able to share with others and build their wealth at the same time for your family to make it make it an ongoing thing. So with that, I hope you gain some great information that my baby the major shared with everyone about the inner peace, dealing with the inner intangible asset in your life better for you. We'll see you next week, same time, same channel. We'll finish the second part of this. Him set up as well. So again, thank you, and always remember to stay tuned, stay informed, and stay on point with the On Point podcast. Dr. Blake here. We'll see you again next week. Have a great and prosperous week, everyone.